Hey, welcome to my journey into another meal prep video. Boy, oh boy, is it a good one today. I was just filming everything, like I do at the end, and I was telling you I was ready to dive in. When I tell you I'm ready to dive in, I am. And my taste buds have been just wonky on me. That Ozempic has just really messed with them, and I don't want anything. It's like I don't want anything food. And maybe that's why this looks so good, because it's not like a prepared meal. Other than the warm breakfast, everything else is just cold. So maybe that's why it looks so good. But it's all very appealing to me. So I'm excited to eat on it this week. For breakfast, I made sausage and gravy bowls. And that's just an old standby, just using a different sausage. That's all. And then for lunches, snacks, whenever I feel the need to have something to eat, with some protein, some good flavor, I made pimento cheese, and I made cranberry pecan chicken salad. Ready for both of those. Now I will eat it plain, like with a fork. I'll make a sandwich. I'll make an open-faced sandwich. I'll eat it with a cracker. I'll eat it with a pretzel. I don't know. Whatever I feel like when the time comes, that's how I'm going to have it. And then for a snack, I made Skinny Taste pumpkin pistachio energy balls, and I've made those before too. All this is tried and true. All this I've made before. It's all good stuff, so that's how I know it's going to be good this time. And it's all on my website. I think I'll have to refigure. Well, I will. I'm not sure if all these, because I didn't check. I'm not sure if all these recipes are in my Healthy app recipe builder, or if they were still in Weight Watchers. So I may have to do some recipe building before I can put up the calories and the protein and the carbs. But that's okay. That'll give me something to do while the video is uploading, because sometimes YouTube is really, really slow. So anyway, we will turn. Let's see, was there anything else I was going to tell you about any of that? I don't think so. If there was, I just forgot. So we will just turn around and get started. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. It took me an hour and 40 minutes. Oh, there's Alexa. Hold on. Time for Flair to get up. It's 8 o'clock. It took me an hour and 40 minutes. And that's even with me having to stop and shell the pistachios. So it would have been even faster if you had your pistachios already shelled. Didn't take me that long, but it took me long enough. So anyway, now we will turn around and get started cooking. Okay, we will start with breakfast. For my sausage and gravy bowls, I'm going to use this sausage. I figured it's less fat, less calories. It's a lot of protein. 2 patties has 10 grams of protein, 0 carbs, and it's only 110 calories. So I thought this might be a little change of pace, a good little healthier option than my niece's pork sausage. Oh my goodness, I can't get it open. That did not want to come open. So it comes in these little patties. Let me turn my burner on. Hold on a minute. What I'm going to do is let's see, I might do 2 at a time. I'm just going to cut them in little pieces. It won't be crumbled bacon, but close enough. So I'm going to do it like that. So let me get this done. Okay, I want to spritz my pan with a little oil. Let me do my little, in case you're wondering, I'm pumping up my mist stove. It feels like it might be out of oil. I think we'll get enough. Yep, it just run out. Then I want to put all my sausage in here. Makes a lot when you cut it up. And I'm just going to cook this. The patties are done like when they're brown, so that's what I'm going to do to these. It doesn't take long. I'm just going to brown these little cubes. So while that's happening, let's go over here. Okay, what we're going to do over here, first of all, this is 4 eggs. I just put a little bit of water in it because that's a trick I learned many years ago. I don't even know where. And it works. You know, a lot of times you put milk in your eggs to make them fluffy. Water does the exact same thing. I guess now I don't know. I'm guessing since they're both liquid, maybe it's the steam that fluffs them up. I don't know, but water does the same thing. I will salt and pepper. See, let's salt and pepper these now. I love these vintage salt and pepper shakers I got at Wanda's. I just love them. So we'll set that aside. Our sausage is done. So I'll turn the burner off and I'll let that sit there a minute. We're going to do our gravy. Y'all have seen me do this gravy a dozen times probably. So what you do is just the Pioneer Country gravy. Don't get the sausage flavor. It's not near as good. It's just this country gravy mix. It's got the little pepper on it. That's what it looks like. You take 1.5 cups of water, bring it up to the boil. Now I have the burner on, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it over here. Let that start working. Then you take 1/2 cup of cool water, cold water, and add your gravy mix to it. I just love this gravy. And then just mix it up until it's all blended. Get all the dry into the water. Try to get out the lumps, which they'll ball out, but now we will set this aside just a minute. And then let's see, let me get something to put that sausage in. Because I'm just going to make my eggs right here in the same pan. Y'all know I don't mind piggybacking in my pans if it's something that's not going to affect the flavor. All this can do is just give a little bit of flavor to the eggs. And you know what? Let's slide over. I ran out of all in my misto, so I'm going to just do a little tad bit of bacon grease because yummy. The eggs will probably still stick because these non-stick pans, they don't last forever. I've had this one a good while. So let me go ahead and put them in here. So all I'm going to do, you don't need to watch, all I'm going to do is soft scramble these eggs while that water is coming up to the boil over there. Well, the eggs finished almost exactly at the time this came up. So let me get my little thing. All we do is mix our gravy packet. Ooh, there's some in the bottom there. I'm going to whisk it and just stir it until it is thickened, and I'm going to let it go real time because I always like you to see how quick it goes. So there you go. Gravy is done. Easy as that. So let's go back over here and assemble these breakfast bowls. Okay, I was gonna do 4, but when I saw how much sausage I have, I'm like, I was thinking 2 pieces, but I'm like, that's going to be too much to eat. Now, I didn't add another egg, so I'm just going to spread the 4 eggs out into, let me move this stuff, 5 bowls. Because that'll be enough. I told you they'd stick. Okay, that is good enough. Now, let's see. I'll use my little spatula. And we'll try to even out the sausage. Okay, even enough. Then we will pour our gravy on. And I don't know if it's going to be too much. Well, our breakfast bowls are done. So next we're going to start on something for lunch. Well, I thought I was recording this whole time, and I was not, because the screen, you can see when the screen finally times out, it moves, and you can see it out of the corner. Yeah. What I have here is 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, and I weighed it because this freshly shredded off the block. So I just pulled it out of the bag and weighed it 8 ounces. 4 ounces is 1 cup, 8 ounces is 2 cups. And then I give it a little bit of house seasoning, not much. And 2 to 3 tablespoons of pimentos. But these, you can see they're pitiful looking because they had been sitting in the back of my fridge, and it gets real cold back there. And when I put them to drain them, they were frozen. So when I thawed them under some warm water, they just turned to mush. So I'm just going to have to go with what I got. And that's all that's in there. So now we're going to do the mayonnaise. And when I make pimento cheese, I just measure and spoon as I go. But when I was on Weight Watchers, it was either Weight Watchers or low carb. But this recipe's been on my website a long time. I had to pin down some amounts to put it in the recipe builder, right? Well, I'm pretty sure this is going to make a dry pimento cheese. I might even say that on my website. I don't know. But I'm measuring 1/2 cup to start with because that's how my recipe is built. But since I'm not worried about points, not necessarily calories, not that I'm going to make this super, super high calorie, but if I need more mayonnaise, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm going to add it. So you want your electric beaters because you want to get it nice and smooth. Okay, I think this is going to be okay with the mayonnaise. And now this is not smooth. It's smooth, but it's more textured. They smush up their cheese. They probably use a different cheese than we do. I don't know what kind of cheese they use. But we always just use the sharp cheddar. So I think this is going to be just fine. So there is that. We're going to do chicken salad next. I almost did it again. I started talking before I pushed the button. So to start our cranberry pecan chicken salad, I want to dry toast my pecans. I mean, I'm not going to put any oil in my pan. This is 1/3 cup of chopped pecans, and I just want to get their natural oils Joan coming out. It will just give them a little bit better flavor than if you just put them in the pan like that. So I'm not going to turn my back on this. I'm just going to stand. I'm not going to make you watch, but I'm going to stand here and watch these just a minute or two. Okay, it did not take a minute to, I don't even think it took 2 minutes. You can start to smell them. And trust me, if you burn them, you'll smell that too. So this is 3 cups of chopped rotisserie chicken. Use any kind of cooked chicken you want. This is rotisserie chicken I bought yesterday. went ahead and pulled it off the bone yesterday, so I had it ready for today. So that's not counted in our time. And I hit it with some house seasoning. So I'm just going to add the pecans to that, and then I have 1/3 cup of dried cranberries. So I'm going to add that. Now, let's see. I'm just going to slide this over here. Then I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop 1 stalk of celery, and I like mine diced small because I'm not the biggest fan of celery to begin with. So I'm going to do this off camera. But what I will do is split it down the middle so they're like little half. Like when you slice them regular, they're half moons. This way they're like quarter moons. Okay. This kind of looks like too much celery for me. Like I said, I'm not that big a fan, but it does need to crunch. I'm thinking if you don't like celery, while I was chopping this, I was thinking, you know what? Chopped up water chestnuts will be good because you do need that little bit of crunch in chicken salad. I think. You might not, but I think that crunch makes it. So that's all I'm putting in there. I got that left. I'll do something with it. Now, what we need is a tablespoon of lemon juice. Don't you like my vintage jar? It says, what'd that say? Golden anniversary. This is the real lemon. The real lemon brand. It was the jar they had for their golden anniversary. This thing is old. And then I need, let's go ahead and give this a little bit of, see if we can mix that lemon juice around a little bit. Now my recipe calls for 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, but I'll tell you, that sounds like a lot. So I'm going to start with a half. And the recipe I'm using is on my website from back in those probably Weight Watcher days. Let me see, does it have point? Yep, it's got points on it. So back in the Weight Watchers day. And I have a cranberry almond and then a cranberry pecan. Well, the cranberry pecan has Greek yogurt in it, and I'm using the cranberry almond that just has mayonnaise in it. So I'm using the almond recipe, but pecans instead. So you can use either recipe you want. The one with the Greek yogurt in it was good. I'm just not feeling it. You know what? We just might need that. We do need that extra 1/4 cup. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. I think that'll be enough mayonnaise. So next up, we will do our, what are they called? Pumpkin pistachio energy balls? I think that's what they are. So that's what's coming up next. Okay, so we're going to make our pumpkin pistachio energy balls. And this is a skinny taste recipe. I want to tell you about these ingredients before we get started. It's all made in the food processor, and then I'll try to get you a decent angle. Raw pistachios is what the recipe calls for. All I could get on my grocery pickup was the roasted salted pistachios in the shell. So I had to stand over here this morning and shell a 1/2 cup of pistachios, which didn't take too long, but longer than I wanted. Then it calls for raw cashews. I couldn't get those either. These are just unsalted cashews in the can. So that is the deal with the nuts. I think they'll be fine. Now they call for medjool dates, and I just want to show you that is the word, medjool, and it's just dates, pitted. Make sure they're pitted. You don't want any, I mean, you can pit them yourself, obviously, but for ease, just throwing them in the food processor. So, and then some pumpkin and spices and vanilla. So let me set this camera up so maybe you can see a little bit better in the food processor. Okay, I think that might work. Now what we need to do is put, this is a 1/2 cup of pistachios. We need a 1/4 cup in the food processor. So I'm just going to eyeball half of these because this is going to be the coating. And then we will process these until, like the recipe says, it looks like coarse sand. So I think what I'll do is, since this has textures that it needs, I'm going to show this in real time, but just take out the food processor noise. So maybe I'll throw some music in, or I'll just leave it blank, whatever I decide when I'm editing. So we're going to do this till it's coarse sand. I think that'll do. Now we just need to pour these into, oh gosh, the smell is so good. We just need to pour these into a small bowl. That's what I'm going to do right here. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. Well, pistachios are delicious anyway. So there we have our, you can see what they look like. Just coarse sand. Okay, now I'm reading the recipe. I just want to make sure I get this right. Now we need to add the rest of the pistachios and the cashews and process until finely ground. Okay, I think that is as fine as my food processor is going to get. See that? So I'm going to leave it at that. Now we need to, I think, add everything else. We need 10 of these dates. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to smush them before I put them in there just to make sure I don't accidentally get one with a pit. Because, you know, in manufacturing, all kind of things can happen. What was that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what I will do is I will wrap these in like some plastic really, really tight, put them back in this and pop them in the freezer for if I need them next time. And I'll mark on there how many I have. Because you don't want to waste those. They're not cheap. And then we need a 1/4 cup of pumpkin. Just your canned pumpkin. And the spices is a 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then I need a half teaspoon. Does it say half teaspoon? Yep. Half teaspoon of vanilla. And then we just process this until it is smooth. And we may have to stop and scrape down the sides, but we'll start. Can you tell? I can still see chunks of dates, and we don't want that. We want it really smooth. So let me push that down in there. We're going to go a little bit longer. Oh, there's some on the lid. Let me get that out. Okay, I think I'm going to stop because I don't think it's going to go any further. You can see. Oh, no, you can't see. There might be a few little chunks of dates here and there, but you see how smooth that is? Okay, let's go on the other side of the kitchen. All right, the recipe says to do golf ball size. This time I'm not. I'm going to use my small cookie scoop because I just want smaller ones. You can put them in the refrigerator or in the freezer. I'm going to freeze them. They'll be just fine, and then they won't be taking up refrigerator space, which is at a premium at my house right now. So we're going to scoop. I'm going to try to get this together. What I'm going to do, well, I'm going to have to get your pistachios, and I'm going to have to get my hands messy while I'm doing it. I'm putting I sprayed my cookie scoop. Did I say that already? I should have sprayed my hands. I didn't. You know what? I think that's together in a ball good enough. So we just want to roll them all in these pistachios. Get them good and coated. So there you have it. Now I am going to just go through and do the rest of these. You know what? That's just about golf ball size. I wouldn't mind if they were smaller, but I'm going to leave it at that. Okie doke, I got 8. My last one here is pretty big because there was just a little bit left in the thing. So I got 8 of my little balls. I'm going to put them in the freezer. But first, let me clean this up and we'll look at what we made today. Okay, well here's what we got today. Here are our sausage gravy breakfast bowls. I think that turkey sausage, the turkey patties chopped up, I think they'll be delicious. And then we have our pimento cheese. I'll hold the camera here a second so you'll have time to read the calories and whatnot. And then our chicken salad. I'm ready to dive into both of these. I'll be honest with you. Hold on. And our pumpkin pistachio energy balls. I am ready to dive into everything here. And y'all know how my taste buds have been. So I cannot wait. So that is what I'm having this week. I hope if you are prepping, you're prepping something good. And I hope you're having a good weekend. And I will see you. I'm not really sure, so I'll see you when I see you.